In the 2083 sun's holocaustic haze, we've become nocturnal, awake beneath the dusk fall. The purple papery, the great regent as Trump atop MAGA paying to see an English. Two bus stop swastika sprayed thus onto some white model's pupils. Beside a Nazi school, not cool. It was not quite the planet for you. Our silver rocket, built by NASA's rejects, glittered upon the water, redly quivering as the rocket revved, thrilling ufologists sitting on the fence. Can this be all there is? Launched into space, we in the cockpit taste freedom. Yeah. Hidden in his art from the fascists, our ship so apart from the canon, literature's far out happenings, one flickering star among the vast emptiness eclipsed by a dark companion. Mbaruk, the planet, haloed as Uranus, all rainbows and unicorns, his spatio-temporal ruse more truthful than yours, though a music few preferred, less human, less earthly, too clever a devil on the hurdy-gurdy verbal, or bent in precision his theremin fingers, sent up tingling our hairs in an English careless as windswept lily pads, as if sharing an internet intergalactic, his wrapped glyphs of a galaxy Hitlerless. Inchoate blobs of poetry grow sharper here in Mbaruk's dream. These few thoughts, giggly dewdrops, the poet's tears of rosy dawn, our golden years of corn in the sun, rose where through the unicorns run, and scribaceous within his moan, a silent lone monk. Yo, who's that man in the car so fast his horsepower 1,000-fold? Is he Andrew Mbaruk, laughing through the carnival, A to the N for alien netherworld, D to the R and deeply reverberant, E to the W, equally wonderful, M to the B for mellowly breathing, and A and R for angularly remarkable, U and the K for united kangaroos, a raspberry supreme from Andrew, his Andrew dream wherein he's a saxophone. This tune we had to blow, leaving me looter than Danny Brown, with a crew of rappers around, witty bruiser wolf's savage howl. 'Tis human to have a cow wrapped in a towel after using the rapper's shower. A hoot, ask the owl, overly devoted to OVO, yet stonedly the poet Soto supposedly is. Even Soto Voce, the vocalist, controls his flow of holy piss. His bones distributed among the poets, a lonely legit, the local legend unknown as the Wet Sweatin', his Nietzschean genealogy of jism ejaculating a manifold postmodernism, his fallen words astral, the longer orgasm and upon the board gasping in chalk or scratched into the porcelain enamel. as the future, too new to be served at the Louvre as food for the nerds, not their computers, human as words, and also music as cool herc, but not as crucial his blues work to parse confusedly through the early hours of a Tuesday, shooting Jupiter's power into his veins. A decent rapper, the best ever, in a red sweater ahead of everyone, pushing a futuristic elegance, speaking as Don Cheadle, a groovy free dom for my people screed, undulating as if dreamed by some creature under the waves, beneath his mind swimming, freestyling, a groovy freedom for my people. Coleman Hawkins with the words, his postmodern literature, a poem of ideas, those older light bulbs as Snow White, dwarfed by time yet controlling science. Whitey straightening Milady's hair, Whitely disabling Shakespeare, Whitey saying play fair, no riots, make like the straight pair, as Christ dangle for our heresy, slaves to power, America rapping for cocaine and capitalism. That's what hip-hop is about. And let God sort 'em out. Galahads of the white powder. That's that white power. Like clouds over the surface of real black literature. My crowd co-working to free Palestinians. Trump speaks as if he weren't irrelevantly their umpteenth sex criminal president. He must have been asleep when the memo was read to him. You've been buttoning the screen, protecting the secret confederation, the state so deep and snorting their snow. Oliver Stonely conspiratorial, knowing the real as most normal folk. What of the letters and tapes and such, sullying the president's name thus? Study the man on the tape punch, drunk and studying several of the ladies numbered among Epstein's equations, multiple the threats to his jail, the ensign, some of the richer men who paid him. What if they slain him? What then? Yeah. What about all those flying with one of the biggest assholes in crime since Hitler, since Hannibal, conspiring thus in the stratosphere, denying Trump the gift, who sat as Mein Kampf upon the desk and laughed, the fiery orange of the ginger cat, a dinosaur with wizardly language, the rising surface, that pitchfork crowd, the Brian Wilson discs of compact, designing its form with one hand and admiring the moribund band. When I grow up to be a man in brackets, eye-rollingly reading now the track list while he played the Beach Boys' last hit, smiling fake as the people laughed at him, driving drink towards eco-fascism. That's why he's acting so fucking fascist. It's because he's pissed. It's 1:48 p.m. The sun's warmly playing over everything, just shining as it does in July. as televised and in so many different skies. I put the rhymes aside and then at 1:54 I came back to it and drew these lines. You see, there was someone at the door delivering food, pizza, and wine on the table now. A real cool time, whether it's 1:57 and 32 or 1969, baby. Borrowing from the Stooges, his philosophy, tonight I wanna be yours in dog years, as the timeless forest beside the city. These rhymes ignored society. Now when I wrote this piece of the text, it was 2:03 p.m. Time flies, man, like flies in a cloud, as the fire of Heraclitus. These rhymes toward the timeless. The timeless. Drifting through limbo, thinking you here now, teleporting food to those neediest mouths in the global south, feeding his cult the weirdest mumblings. Picking up the verse again at 6:40 p.m. Throwing a few more words in and serving you the song. There's still time on the track, I guess. I'll freestyle rap the rest at 6:44 p.m. Rapping you more of the song. Yo, freestyling. From Gravity's Rainbow to Mason and Dixon, the censor erasing all of Pynchon, and also Edward Albee, because of something he said in some magazine, and also Lawrence Stern, man, because he was serving such raps as these. Tristram Shandy and these random words. So digressive as the flow of my messages. Oh, vagina's wetness, so licentious. Below the sky as it reddens. Humanly opening the cream soda can as no other creature can, giving you the dope, dreamy dank, rolled up in the poetry of Shakespeare. Thank me later. Right now, these waves need surfers, oh slaves of his wordless, engaged to be his servants. No habeas corpus, arraigned and deported. Cocaine for the snorting, Boldy James at 4 a.m. The poet raised an orange flame. And so, holding my flame to the bowl and smoking, I became the pure poet, freestyling on the page of Brutal, purer than heaven. The Moor of Venice, that's Othello, for those of you uneducated. In poetry/entertainment, and anything I saw from that day forward became fodder for raps and maybe poetry. A crow pecking the eyes out of a dead squirrel. The road ahead alive with many such crows. I'm so ready to die. This is my everyday struggle, so cleverly disguised as empty twaddle. You've wetly, surprisedly stepped in the puddle. Elegiac, these evergreens of hope. I mean the town in British Columbia. Believe these fountainous whispers of the numberless infinity, where from all things arise thinking and speech that rhymed. Mbaruk, on the brink of being defined, startled everyone by leaving meanings behind. Yo, it's not the swaying form of the tree, nor the shape of your belief. It's more the acorns beneath. It's more the way words feel. The rapper loved his etymologies, the jazzy sophist in all of his philosophy classes. An Andrew Mbaruk is an anarchist, savage marksman rapping from the heart and a tongue. Standing arborescent for the black-barred reptilian. Guarding his nest asleep. The Tyrannosaurus Rex of readers regularly eating versicles, biting into the meat of a verbally defeated wordsmith. Darker times call for darker men. Obama, no Mbaruk for president. Hard like the thought of existentialists, looking smart in his socks and a hat. Vomiting an automatic rap as the lights on a bicycle's wheels in the night so psychedelically aglow. I'm something more than rap or poetry. I'm something more than rap or poetry. I'm neither someone nor nobody. I'm ashore as the cold sea. I'm the sun and all that glittery gold beneath. His afros, white hairs, countless. Alas, I'd call that a growing anti-blackness. Facts like Black Lives Matter versus Batman, bat climbing up a chapter of BLM. Am I as tough a rapper as Rakim and them? Or slant rhymes valid to these Caucasians? Yo, that's my Excalibur, key away. Stand back while I Gallagher, please and thanks. Yo, the song a weapon whereby watermelon everywhere flies. His negritude a line longitudinal, extending from the child unto the man. Richard writing the haiku blacker than those hiding as doom behind a mask. A hat over the sleepy head, his afro, the prefix attached to his genius. An afro-surrealist landing as the secret attack on Cairo, Egypt. Hieroglyphic, his mind so niggerish, riding over literature on his high horse giggling. His rhyme book hidden with his style's precision within a riddle, sinking like ink into your skin. Divine scribbler, rhyming thinker, a few flakes shy of true wintriness, a few white hairs but the beginnings of death. Precision within a riddle, sinking like ink into your skin, divine scribbler. Freestyling, learning to think up rhymes in a few seconds, serving you beer beside the pretzels, learning to freestyle from the experts, not those who read how to rhyme in a textbook. Yo, he's like maybe Aeschylus or Sophocles, the way he rocks the people with his awesome speech. Yo, freestyle. Yo, low in the sky, ring the lonely wine red moon as the ghosts beside Scrooge. The tone of white music, the bones of a minor lutenist. His lowbrow rhymes brutish. We go high sky blue. Roman, his highless salute. This is so unlike you, Brutus. Older than my students and grow growing to like legumes. His overdue library books as poetry by bell hooks. In one fell swoop I composed this by the red moon's rosy minding evermore over the wild evergreens of before there were men and women and more overly dedicated to showing you that you were naked as the snake did, exposingly as the negatives in a dark room disturbed, and Mbaruk with the words this, cosmic to your earthly, godly perfectly, his wandering beneath Venus, with his long green serpentine cocky beery text, moraler than fucking infinite jest, oral, the minty breath of a Homer spinning his web. It's no service here, no internet, so perfect it's ridiculous. Current events, words bent as the Cirque du Soleil, or the pirouette in ballet, or James chants his contortions, random performance, rap for the abnormal among us. Sorrow and unrest. No chorus, no structure as the bridge to collapse. Synaptic is balladry. Neuroleptic pills can't make flaccid the phallus of speech. The literature black and deep as the will within Alexander the G. Aristotelian as the trees and dreamily dancing weeds. Beneath the palace asleep, Baudrillardian as wild animals, the hearty lion, the jackal, Mbaruk's mind on acid and coke, are crumbly like Mr. Natural, his rap so the granola path through North Vancouver, so advanced as Leroy Jones, the steeped in Joyce poet, devoid of soullessness, speaking out his orifice such jewels as the Georgics Virgilian, incorrigible with the jibber jabber. Join me now, oh, walking through an open vowel into the poet's mouth and down into the scariest O, i.e. the inferno. Sex toys for the breaking in, into the void forsaken. I higgity hoy there, matey lifting his voice in praise of Jesus and Satan to even things out. It was 8:03 p.m. when I finished making this beat and began to speak in rhymes against the current so false, against his truth event, more than human as the blues and death, whether ignoring the TV or glued to your set together as cherry jello, carelessly letting go dancing to that MTV countdown as Leonard Cohen's beautiful losers enter the poet's humor, cruelty first. The characters spoon-fed his gruel, their words his. Marionettes he moves by computer. The terroristic truth like a rumor, crashing through your mood like a Kool-Aid pitcher, cultic. The music he used to whisper, shouted out now. from the roof to his neighbors, a public figure as the walking man sign under the green light, nodding to my rhymes, freestyled from the literature on my shelf. Rick Movies the diviner's umbrella will sell. The marriage of heaven and hell. Ishmael reads Juice, his O.J. Simpson novel, yeah. O.J. Simpson novel, yeah. I'm too old to give up rock now, why? It's probably how I'll die, in a song on the mic. Filling his days with this rap shit, beneath the waves of it as the halibut, till he's dragged out of bed by the fascists to some city way out in Alaska, perhaps, under J.D. Vance's command. Dig all these flaming MAGA hats. The streets awake and black, the cosmos blacker than ice, wherein time passes as a white American as the apple you bite, the pear and passion fruit delight appearing as a candle's flickering eye, to hear what it danced to as it shined. You'd moonwalk as I rap on the mic, too weird for a mere calendar time. Through the years a fearless samurai, looping a fiasco as the fresco or mural or dancing on a pedestal. Andrew Mbaruk had such testicles as you find on such animals as elephants. Black excellence, black excellence, black excellence, black excellence, excellence. Redder than love and white as a melanistic bloodline, severed in what some call genocide. But what a guy. Last among the Negroes, one survived of black people here, flashing his teeth and grinning through the flat screen and your speakers, rapping in a relaxed meter his flaccid meaninglessness. This random speech addressed to cats who believe in jazz, and randomly rapping as the handy man with the hammer, hammering the manifold in a carpentry paradoxical into Mbaruk's speech darkly aglow, sandwiched between art and commercialism, dancing in the dark as Bruce Springsteen and Andrew. Apart from human existence, he's a fruitlessly withered tree, fluidly, liquidly, using his nether speech, the rumor of infinity, bluely the river of evil, thrown out of this Eden, going out as the fizzling evening sun. Yo, it's easy to rap actually. The poet and Ian Hanmansing, speaking only facts to them in a sequence so distractfully weirder than Nas and Jay-Z. Nevertheless, the one little puzzle piece that makes rap complete. What does it mean if you can't? Rap is he, rap's canary, down in the deepest abstractions asleep, revealing what rap can be. Gravity, pushingly breathing out a black being, push a T with no malice and the greed of 3 or 4 rappers. These reborn souls, trans migrants, deported over the vast and violent ocean into the world as Heidegger throws us, giving you the poem as I spoke it, with no editing, just the flow of his mental being, his vocal fingerprint, holding the language with his whole abrasively slower way with words as if cocaine were Seroquel, flowing a spoken trail, overtaking Ghostface, his broken brain, schizo insane, they said, though they may have just been less pro-intellectual than most of my friends and lovers. Poetry is bread and butter, toasting the death of post-structuralism, and rowing against the flow of your water's wisdom, on a mission as the Pope atop Catholicism. Job, but a blob in his vision as the blow job to the politician, boasted in the job description, yodeling his thoughts for the children as old dirty bastard and the Wu-Tang Clan were, man, too amazing for average person. Yo, freestyling thusly, his weird style of philosophy, built of rhymes and rocks and bricks, to opine for all who exist, these strange signs and bottled images. Removing the cork and flowing as water under the bridge and into the village where it collects for the images. What mental
Jesus Christ.
The crowd enthroning Euripides, I preferred the goat herd's illiteracy and howling as snow ablur the windy city, as Bowie bewitchingly, in goldenly glittering jeans, holdeth the whip in his dream, a glowworm lit scene. No words fit his meaning. Now sat she modish as misery upon a cloud of cold whipped cream, powdering her nose in the mirror. A drink upon the counter so delicious and pink as the flowers I hold to my nose and breathe now. The poem Riverine in the current of both serene. LSD and the North American Symergical Institute spirits, or Nazis. These are not incompatible, dig. This moist red venison is the choice of many epicures, as the oyster bed's fresh food, broiled as the fish in food, as Joyce's head's riverine narrative, as Pink Floyd fled Syd Barrett in a joylessly fixed marriage, with an octopus, shrimp and scallops, polygamous, in the attic, yet vigorously the master chef. These wriggling bass in the net, the picture of animal health, living as cattle in the dell. This rebus in black shapes, oh, the titillating tattoo tail, jiggling as a salad set in jello, the hippie handmaid's hello, an act would of lower hell, where the blackest poets go, the blackberry jelly roll Morton, those angels aglow before him, in a rainbow chorus, an incredible force of nature, as Plato's forms these made-up words, as a rave without drugs absurd, to traipse without touching the earth, away from what thou wert, the flesh-made spirit, as Montaigne, his essays here in print, He falls away, but his essays were here in print. The thought remains in his essays, clear as crystal. Following the leaders, wrong-headed, bottomless, deep, longing for death, as you'd follow the sheepdog ahead, or a recipe for pecan bread or baked bananas. They stand and await their random fate. These evergreens, frank as Rabelais in his speech. Gigantic ancient trees. Yo, it's American soil, the true north, as Quebec absorbed into their world. In French no more, these English are in the trenches of World War III, lobbing a grenade into the battle. The chaos of the blast, so smoky, the fog of war sappurous, as Hawthorne Nathaniel read as the letter A, as Kal-El in the red cape, though he was never especially great. He was better than Drake, though, his venomous snake so slithery, slippery, wriggling through the ditch too quickly to interview, from Eve and her apples, as seashells from the sand stolen. The queen of man as we know him, and Adam's vote for Fidel Castro. The radicals, antique as black death, these leaves of grass were lit as the last spliff of tonight. Was his the passion of the Christ, hanging overnight, high on flowers and edibles, and the power of rhetoric, lying down bent in their control. Bent in a mental yoga, in bed as Israel and Coca-Cola. Israel and the Western world, most of us, unfocused, so unlike the poet's hocus pocus. White roses and cocoa with the marshmallows, sipped in Coca-Cola darkness. Utopian? Is art not artifice? Petroleum dark, the marked as larks in the wind. Hark, the winter endeth, one spliff left. Hark, the winter endeth, one spliff left. Hark, the winter endeth, it's only one spliff left. Hark, the winter endeth, one spliff left. Hark, the winter endeth, the winter and spliff left. Yo. Scorpio powers these contorted formal ballerina leaps over the morning of black leaves, out of the sorrow that rapping grieves into rap's quarrelsome families, wrapped in the warmth of our happy peace, adumbrating his quantum ectoplasm ex post facto. The shadow they follow, the phantom risen Apollo's form, slantingly hitting the frost with his warmth, silent within the coffin of his words, the fire lickingly hot, his words not spiderless, the thermometer, climbing Fahrenheit's ambit like the black spider, higher, to write with the lighter his satire, the red and white flag on fire, perfecting the rap style in 3D, burlesquing the braggart MC. These words correctly Mac like and PC, everly laughing like tee as George Sand by the seaweed, forming the rap like a queen bee, organized man on concrete streets, crumbling as honey or peace. These mumbled nothings between the sheets, deconstructingly leafy sweet, the meanings uncoupled from his speech and eaten, devouring images only for the sound of the signifiers, holding it down in the drink retired, and drowning in ink his writing, originally light pink as Kronos, king of the Titans, now flowing as English through the night of things. Devouring images only for the sound of the signifiers, holding it down in the drink, retired and drowning in ink his writing, originally light pink as Kronos, king of the Titans, now flowing as English through the night of things. Crucified next to Christ and like Jesus, but in rhymes too violently alive in the highest peaks of his mind. The thief in his blue-green raincoat was I, uncontained as the sky, looming evilly since ancient times, acutely bittersweet, the taste of time, darkly gleaming gleam, the rays of ultraviolet, hardly the thief, I'm simply taking what's mine from the music store dollar bin. His shoes were warm moccasins, in cuneiform his sonnet sequence, engraved into clay onto 8 stone tablets. As fate would have it, the freestyle, loosely scripted as if dreamed by a cubist, is stealing white music CDs and vinyl too from this record store. The clerk oblivious, metaphorical, cassettes and discs secreted into his raincoat pockets. The plain clothes cops on his scent, to faint as ghost dog to Jim Jarmusch in constant darkness. Running now from those blinder than Stevie, stumbling over these rhymes from the police, wonderingly why they hold heat in the size of both his feet, running o'er the street, crumbling under deconstruction, dumbly thinking one word could mean but one thing. Pockets full of stolen Devo, I hop into an Oldsmobile, stole the vehicle, driving from those police sirens, and speeding over these streets with the police at my heels. With the CDs I steal, I fell asleep at the wheel. I fell asleep at the wheel, speeding over these streets with the police at my heels. I fell asleep at the wheel, with the CDs I steal. I fell asleep at the wheel. Asleep at the wheel, his dream among many, through a field somewhat greener than envy, sweeter than Pepsi, sharing my mouth spouting philosophies as the berries about my moccasined feet. Hilariously, 'twas all a dream. I'd fallen asleep beautifuler than some Beethoven overture, his new cult of peyote smokers, staining their overshirts, rolling in clover, rolling in clover. rolling in clover. Rolling in clover. So now I woke up flying through my windshield to the sirens of municipal evil. In no position now to sit and think, so I hit the ground sprinting from the cops or nigger hunters. A long distance runner. There's no bottom to their love for him, so he's got to keep running. Keep running. Green leaves, blue sky. The trees believably moving you to cry. Such beauty, his rhymes immodest, Byronic. These lines of polished text as we fight on the holodeck inside, wiping all our sweat and lighting a long cigarette as I began now to rap the wild holographic flowers dance. The hologram aliver than God's math or science's covenant. The idea is a Star Wars in the 70s, a Messiah or Darth unborn. Yet here I come, darkening your doorstep. Mbaruk with the forceps, the new way, as the blue jay elusively away in the blue sky, too high to you and I, to contain, to use again, to relay in the race. To the line you must sign as the vinyl of your rhyme manifesto. The dotted line under handwriting is barbed wire along its black line of thought. These signs of attraction, God abovely sighing and laughing. It's not love but rhymes wrapped thus to an audience more silently rapping. Shots fired from his handgun looking for a fight as cops struggling to find action. Thoughtless touches, wild raps. It's not much in his mind happening. Several small wisps of white up in the sky evaporating. Undefinable imaginings. Lifting the pliers, unplugging the cord and modifying the motherboard, metaversally embedded in the words of me, their dialectical definitions. The net we wriggle in under the luxury net, that other internet for the 1%. The physical essence in the words of this metaverse. Velvets and furs, the leather purse we take, though 'tis wrong to pilfer the, and escaped through a pop-up window, making Robin Hood literal again, as crooked Nixon wins the game. Psycho-textual, indigenous to the Museum of Anthropology, unique to Canada, the potlatch piece is proto-textual, the psychotext infamy, stolen as the lives of so-called Indians, cold and wet though drier than Winnipeg, so forgettable the findings of their inquiry in the Longhouse with Drake and them, the ambassadors, the moronic Canadians, savager here ignoring all the First Nations of Canada, those haunting Hastings, ashes and dust. It's more honest and naked to wrap in gloves your forearms and break all the lambent bulbs in the haunted house, chasing the phantoms out of your bodies with the crucifix. It's not easy to do this, so the bodies of a few kids were lost until we moved a few things. Drake shrugging in his music, the fake love and beautiful, his auto-tuned lyrics, the bodiless spirits of the fallen lads of what we now call Canada. But we can't abolish Canada. But we can't abolish South Africa. The song Anathema. We can't abolish Canada. We'll just acknowledge the land and whatnot. It's a Marxist, basically a Hegelian psychogeography. Dialectical psychogeography, clouded as night slowly rotting, meat flies settling like jokes on a theme to flower in the light of low democracy. White was never right as so wrongly believed, however, white though swans over the sea, white feathers like older colonies, mountainous eyesores, their volubly nightmarish, frightful, squawking beaks, espousing such like unto the lobotomy, mindless words as of ice frozen solid in a sheet, powerless to fight their cold moderns. Dialectical psychogeography, counter this time's flowing watery, like the spectral light of those bodies, thousands of light years from all we'd believed, entangling our quantum feet and rounding the rectangle ovularly, bound just as Hegel's sophistry to expound the whole rainbow of possible meanings. Yo, don't explain the rock as a dreamed thing, the cocaine in the pot he thought would free him. Don't explain the rock as a dreamed thing. Don't Plato and Kant people onto the streets. Think. Did you notice the POTUS? He's crazy, y'all. I bet he'll try to make himself their fatal fall, their great Stalin. Even Drake of all people had a great fall, and OD'd on fate, it just wasn't in the 8-ball. His comeback, as some had awaited, was not so. Struck mad, musk pallid, he just saw a ghost, an underclass with guns and facts, not votes. Such a massive, upwardly lasting, cocky bloke. Hot red bubbles, the shot brothers' black hands bent in a knot like a small struggle, the frost as stubble upon the structure, trash cans and weather, a lot like God's punishment. Jesus Christ. Psychogeography. Geography. of the soul as it walks freely in psychogeography. In psychogeography. In psychogeography. Burning an Israeli flag in the West Bank, hurling confetti at the rave. In Germany, pressuring the AfD. In words we spread o'er every page to dissolve unto death and nothingness. Depressed as the red button, inverting the IDF's punishment, fiery their endless destruction, throwing the highest members unto Satan in the fiery embers of damnation, designed by red and black Canadians who remember Jack Layton in the pentagram praying, in the pentagram praying. Yo, imparting a folder in the dark so covert, Mbaruk in the phone booth, holding a dark cola, bubblingly latent his bottled hatred, as the robber breaking the drugstore, awake in love or fakely lovelorn as Drake. Somewhat bored Monday morning, what more can I say beneath Jay-Z and Diddy, as First Nations beneath Canadian cities, holidaying the colonies upon the pages of street cartography, beneath the waving trees Mbaruk leaves for the grace of pre-arboreal rubies and diamonds on the sky's neck, such looming beauty dig. I don't wanna die yet, constellatedly high, all these rhymes interconnected in drama, hatreds and desires of scribbled chemistry, the science of juxtaposition and jealousy, these rhymes as his kids in their bunk beds asleep. I'm jesting here, it's more of a telepathy. The beer I pour down through my head into me as Popeye's spinach, rap battles boring as a long, dry Iliad. It's not personally my kind of hit of acid. Insults while improvising raps, that's not a kind skill to advance. Water sliding into the splash, this long line for the river raft, godlike his skill on the track, Mbaruk like a hitman, with the long silencer in his hand, assembling this nightmare as death with his scythe in midair, aiming for some guy unaware of his life, where it's going, and firing into his home with the gun. So too, my lyrical precision, the truths I'm so clearly within, like that my beard needs trimming, and that my spirit soon ascending to, from here unto heaven moving, through this death sentence unto his evanescence, the breath vaporous exhaling aheadward into the shapeless foreververse. Yo, epicentral, the locus wherein the sentimental poet doth swim. An ocean of fish unknown to the city, the poet's little secret afloat in the blue glitter, unspoken, these mute letters. Yo, do better. Don't applaud the cops behind the sun, boats nodding on the horizon, golden water, wobbly wild among us, frolicking in mock violence, though we'd never harm or fly, seagulls and starfish alike, speaking in Mbaruk's lines, the greenest part of the sky. Among these elons, fluffy white, adrift in apartheid over this sparkling wine, frisbees and beach balls scattered over the sand. Dog speaking a bombastic rap song, barking like Mbaruk divine. The car you drive startlingly rhymed with the horse whose power forced you down to earth. English Bay shall tremble as waves in a thimble, anciently minuscule. Taste this crispy tune. The chicken's playing in the yard again, on wings unable to harm anyone. These slaves beneath the stars are gleamingly engraved into Mbaruk's brain. Mbaruk's brain. Yeah. It's getting dark again. Presenting as collectives till the drunk dial set up, punchline. The weight of the gun in my jeans as I advance. These were the new sounds, my stand-up comedy blue, with a few clouds awkwardly huge. My shoes as I groove, now watch me detune my lute as the blues clown, his four humors effusive and shooting a fifth. From obscurity unto the egg, from New Year's Day till New Year's Day, moving away his cubicle of flame. Andrew's insane. That's not fair. His cubicle of flame. His cubicle of flame. His cubicle of flame. That's that not so quiet quitting we love to see. His lively liquid idyllic love stream. Come and see it. Unsecret. His smoking gun in the green room. Yeah, but seriously, folks. His smoking gun in the green room. Yo, how's everybody grooving? You, what's your name? That's a fucking stupid name, he said, standing before you on the stage. God, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Who really put the Nazis in charge of things? Houdini, Copperfield, or some larger being? You, God, were not God, but a colonizer. The true fraud in thy pawns were these proxy fighters, who wrought the fall of man for eating those fruits of the knowledge of the problem of evil. You hate how man can know things, through Satan down to pandemonium. That's conniving. Who flattened the cola I drink? Who shat on even the most pious? We made God like us. 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 We made God. Say, Christ, I'd heard you'd walked on water to the lake, hiding in purple fog the converse. So sorry that man may be your father, Corybantic, playing the god of earth. He's war-gravid, the laser bots and burning gore, his antics gracefully awkward. They love to say that God is in the details, in the watery ways of walking females, and in the restrictions of the corset. If his vision isn't formless, it's more of a test to see what he can get away with as a deity. And I say this with the certainty of a gray mist lurkingly shapeless o'er the surface of the sea. As if a verse of Genesis were written by the very perfect endlessness itself. with the laser's accuracy, or the crow's grape black shrieks, cooking cocaine into crack for the streets, controlling the way this rapper speaks his blasphemy, controlling the rain, stoned again for holding back the people, aiming stones at chattel that reads and dreams and even speaks. We made God like us. We made God like us. We made God like us. Made God. We made God like us. We made God like us. We made God like us. Made God like us. We made God like us. Yo, check this out. I wrote some rhymes this morning. I just felt like I woke up and I felt like rapping. So check this out. Yeah. Migrate to the void, we swim in the sea of pointillists, points in an inky welcome. It's not a joy division, we're free to loiter as Joyce ends with Finnegan. You could feel it contracting, his multiverse constricting in calendar months, the world in fairy fire, his alarum. Beware the Ides of March. These lines from Mbaruk's mouth. To the pie he started to gulp. Key lime the tart so sourly. These rhymes from the dark of his pantry. As marbles in the black sea of deep time and archaeolastic speech. Archaeolastic speech? Archaeolastic speech, ever the heavenly hawk over an evergreen flock verbal. A politics of purple snow, gently the emptiest rock and roll, as sex through the nostril holes. Was the poet ever really an option though? Through an auditory hole unread, definite modern poetry, straight out of Steinbeck, but not an oak. Grapes in the wine of wrath, bottled and sold cheaper, snoozing glee, voting for sleep, enslaving the Romans and the Greeks. The Romans and the Greeks. The Romans and the Greeks. Enslaving the Romans and the Greeks. The Romans and the Greeks. Post-quantum physical astronomy. Yo, we want Nicky Giovanni. No quantum physical astronomy. Yo, we wanted Nicky Giovanni. No quantum physical astronomy. No quantum physical blowtorch, the ocean's force, colder than corpses. It's yours, this emptiness, sexy abyss, deep dark cosmos, hollow as the bones of a swallow, postmoderner. That stall bellow, more honorable mellow, your record surroundly, gentler than the Mountie, softer than snow. Walking through the cocaine, a follower of No Name and Boldy James and other rappers they don't know. You catapult, you poet, attacking what the Romans had built in Latin broken until rap was the emotion you felt. Not Rex appellatus, but ill and stillmatic. You had read in bed the calendar outstretched before the space-time ocean we'd quarrel through. Or canoodle in an oar's end canoe approach to falling in time. If this were 1843, would I still be bent over 44 keys? My memento mori, or sent to toil in a field? The Joycean Negroes' politics foiled by the people, though filed under T for true. Smilingly that dude, the high priest Andrew, with the shiny black music that rhymed as his hat with his shoes, fashionably, rudely standing on the roof of your establishment, mooning you with a black cock-a-doodle dance as the rooster, stupid, bluely timid, almost, as if Andrew and Mbaruk were human and not ghost, not a ghost. This unfolding of a numinal object, I'm that cosmic project, schizophreniacs oversee. Every man go with me, let every man be an end in their self to see. It's not really fun unless she says it is. Every one of us a free agent, letting anyone do anything they can. I'm cool with my daughter leaving the hospital a man. His energy photosynthetic as tropical plants. Let's see if I can't get this banana again to grow. That Hannah Arendt flow, anatomizing evil's banality. with the eagle's majesty. Painting with the violence of Caravaggio, making of the Bible a savage poem, breaking into lines the powder, oh Satan divine, these flowers purple, making space-time sound slowlier, maybe even a little less irreversible, no stranger to crimes, the black soldier, paying in time for his crack cocaine as Drake for his caviar and champagne, spraying Andrew Mbaruk's name on the cave wall. These darting flames, so his art mirrors the nation truer than fake news as The Guardian and Der Spiegel, and Mbaruk serving the people his hard-earned purpley glow amethysts, rapping as the bastard legitimate, the calendar ripped to shreds, as Saturn amid the heavens of balance served the dressing thus, so inelegant, as if decked in gold from head to foot, dead of neither the pit nor the pendulum, driving the river as temporality, imbibing the delicious most grapes of wrath, besides the scribbled on a paper napkin, wildly intricate fractal mathematical, signed by infinity, mathemagical, an inner city animal as the pigeon or the raccoon devoted to trash and poetry. Andrew the nobleman frozen as Frank Ocean, to be awakened in 2047, so Cold War sensitive, no more serious than the togaed form of Lucretius, golden orange the blue sea glitters, as the postmodern news we deliver, timeless as the river of rhyme suggests. This isn't science, no Higgs fields, no bosons driving the river as motion. I'm the sinistral flow of stuff leftward, from the old unto the elder, yo, and without effort, just flowing such effluence as the snow slushy breath current, for the poets of a mental alertness, closer to the netherworldly, devil's perfect vision, though better than Dante's. His essay is inflammably as the red flames of Calgary, as Hendrix plays with his band in Electric Ladyland and Sissy. This comedian as the seashell, speaking from the deepest netherworld as the shaman on mescaline. His complexity mixed with a frog's francophony, colonizing space with his poetry, polishing his many Grammys, as all the great jazz men, from Tom Waits to Mac Miller. Yeah, I just said that, as the samurai death pact on his pleasure craft shot on this yacht, the trillionaire, more vomitous than the Holocaust Hitler dared, Israel wearing the torn flesh of post-war threads, sown of ordinary men. They're going to burn in hell, their whole moral depth, the glow of orange hail, the slow torturous pain, the circles of blame. Uranium, these nuclear dangerous pages of text, too strange to be staged as Chekhov, truly awake to what most don't see, the socialist in me, the poet MC holding up my leaves, an oak above the people all coked up and evil, going on and on and on. Because that's how MCing is is done. Black clouds screaming thunderous, dancing now beneath the thunderclouds. Yeah, but what else should I say on the track while I have their ears? I spoke on Palestine and the famine. I suppose I'll add the Black Lives Matter. Black beside their nattering, saturnine even in laughter, and standing like a dancer with my hands high as if I didn't care. But yo, there's still more beat. Better fill the void with more meaning as the golden leaves of autumn. Poetry fallen, strolling beneath the gray beard. A Lord we faithlessly needed, boredly, lazily, with the morals of a Satanist, abnormally, strangely weird. Music bizarre, cool, cue sharp, a cool dude, Mbaruk. Humanly possible, sneezing his gospel, this not snow. All this coke, breathing the pot cloud, seeing as there are cops around, no. Sneaking his thoughts out from deep within his noggin, now secret because it's no thoughts allowed. Yeah.
Sleepy times.
Dreams on. In PJs, an ancient pharaoh eating brains of Drake, American, the Green Lake, awake, aware of you. He lay astray as the scarecrow. Dip your spear in his crimson pulp and drip the tears of Christian doubt. Give your ear to Krishna's mouth, whispering clear crystalline salt. Bassoons, confusedly the music the ruler ruled. Unruly rhythm, the glue that glued the tune together in groovy velour and in humid weather. He rose from his street babble, reading Hegel, the poet's ear lad, reaching Saturn. Stones in the sea as jazz in Seattle, unknown to me alas, but really actual as poetry. The glass of beer you had to hold in your drink, a can to be more natural. A freak in the sack or dote will priestly sleep fog his rap vocals. The factotum jack of all poetry. Black ocean splashy on the cold beach, yo. And an old moon laughingly, lowly, in the leaves, branches holding the lamp glowing. Have a coke with yo, and I stand phronimophrenic, sold as the snack by street vendors. The vocal chattel, evil devil, so black and so green, the vegetable gentleman, so good that Eminem hacked, Eminem shot, Eminem breakdancing with his head logged off, Eminem stabbed, Eminem shocked, Eminem captured and corrected in Photoshop. Eminem hacked, Eminem shot, Eminem breakdancing with his head logged off, Eminem stabbed, Eminem shocked, Eminem captured and corrected in Photoshop. A preacher among earthworms of Aesop and the Homeric odes I agree of no particular home, a seizure, uncontrollably the poem. If you're one of those people who loves to hurt people, come over please sir and watch as I breathe more life in 1 meter than you since you breathed first. My words as the sir, Bordel elude his form as the nuclear missile pouring the human form into human letters as your old droog but more multitudinous. The moral fool over the chords of a lutenist, sort of groovy if you're into truth, I guess. These sordidly viewed as the porno Ulysses, shoring against ruin, has borrowed a new English uniform. As the human penguins, a chorus confusing as any on Nevermind, snoring through the CGI end times, his spectacled eyes absorbing his news on the skeptical side. In the spectacle society, photographing food with a cell phone tonight. Or were you in heaven or not? This falling through the sky astronaut, God preacher among earthworms of Aesop and the Homeric odes on Grio, of no particular home, a seizure uncontrollably the poet. And if you're one of those people who loves to hurt people, come over please, sir, and watch as I breathe more life in 1 meter than you, since you breathed first. My words as the surf. Shallower than friends, his alcohol tolerance flowers ever about his head in gaudiness, into absolute out of practice, using cannabis, out of habit, gulping apple cider, blackened beside himself. No one by the poet, as he stride by the ocean. I'm the sky with no clouds in it, a mind in a vat at rest, a Bible in the back of a desk beside your acting bed, the final gasping breath of a dynastic thread. I'm that and more yet. And I have friends in Vancouver, they all have better things to do though. I'm a message in a sealed bottle on a wreckage deep beneath the water. I'm a vessel leaking on this ocean for the maelstrom, not the welcome Neptune. Breathed uncontrollably unto the fleet now flowingly dying in their hold. Sublime, terrible, the pirate pregnant boats gliding on a red ocean. I guess I'll build my poem. Is Huck Finn, Trump and them condensed? Is the Pequod America as Elon and an heiress, as greed and carelessness meet in marriage? The greenest cherub, I believe in their love, and the sheer unfairness of the streets of Paris. The eagle up there above the evils of America, these topics scare me. The dream songs of Berryman, quarantined as quantum theory, the leaves falling, tears of the tree, so these thoughts unclear to me, though really not obscure, really the mirror of our impurity as species of tree shrew grew into the beings you see before you, chimp adjacent your old droogs, with the mortality blues, channeling that into quotable lyrics, standing as the boatload of immigrants, these random raps spoken deliberate, the MAGA hats thrown in the river, as the graduates' caps thrown in valediction. Congrats, you've exited that religion. Now it's back to mercantilism, a galleon on the vast ocean, a black poem. As the Jew of Malta or even Kubla Khan unread, using white knowledge as you'd bite the glove that fed you. A life uneventful, trapped in an historic web though, flying yet therefrom, like helicopters word-milling giantly, disturbing a quiet breeze, serving you the lies you need, perfect through the eye of a needle. These rhymes unequaled by ChatGPT and Google. Thus far they can't reproduce poetry. The blackberry juice slushy as tax evades the computer dummies, bracketing the truth for money. I prefer Andrew Mbaruk's company. As Frankenstein's formed to the human fragments I've shored against ruins, so Drake's time-honored tunes live beneath the rock and tuned with him. Only there is shadow under this rock, the lonely babbling tower mocked, this capital I erect. Valentine read, flipping Einstein on his head. A free Palestine forever, seeming random to those anal Nazis. Believing Aesop rock, the suppository whereby God talks to the people up your colony and around the corner, freestyling boldly thus. Up your colony and around the corner. Up your colony, landing as the hammer on an answer, as Hamlet ever vacillated answerless. To be, or what was the question? Can we need more rum and coke with mescaline in it? His poetry unedited yet, so free of death I eat deathless. A breath of fresh air. Out of forever into the forever. Yo. Entering the spa with a Tech 9 and a Glock and a weapon to rhyme as the crossbow he held in his mind. Though he did not give telekinesis vibes, his empty eyes to your endless sky blue. Hitler's kind of dude. Watch as the Panther crept on to Wes Anderson's set and shot at Adrian Brody, Bill Murray. The comedy tailored to a poet's needs, but which poetry? A literature so free it didn't know what a Negro is or was ever greener than Christmas. The perennial, meaningless drip upon the shivering water lilies upon the river of thought since Hitler, upon the river of communism's work. The physics of what we most remember of the structure of everything before, translated into metaphor, and sprayed in its leaden form. Entering the spa with a Tech 9 and a Glock and a weapon to rhyme as the crossbow he'd held in his mind. Opening the can with an opener, candid his opening close to 7, after 11 or closer to 12, the blacker to bolden the poet's words. It could be that I'm just starting as bush to 9/11 larvae, the bush alive with starlings, the crush of love's alarum ringing. The fireman holds in his arms a kitten while the whole darned building on fire folds and falls, an image inscribed on postcards and missiles. At night he's so dark, invisible, his style known as Mbarukism, the nunnery afloat, an arc of women, some were stoned for a Marxism of the soul. Part religion, partly the sale of art on the internet, articles of faith, his architecture. These arches of an M were the letter marking our temple. Kaleido-textual, the plywood flammable, the fire crackling now, till the entire hood is ashes, the blacker the town. The drier the random tinder, sparking the still ardent flames, tickling the dark awake, and killing for art's sake. Mbaruk but not Drake, sipping his Chardonnay from some hidden part of LA, praying and awakening Satan, yo. Awakening Satan, awakening Satan. It's sexy to fuck, is telepathy love if it never reaches us? Quintessentially dust, is it plenty enough to be dead but still dreamed of? His head reaching God's emptiness aloft in his emptiest speech, thus the mental hospital, Pentecostal MDs thinking they're Jesus. Diagnosing the entire ocean as hydrophobic. Yes, they're that serious. I'm a fan of using art to wrap truth in swarthy obscurity. Thus, it's Andrew Mbaruk raps Beauty Mark. The track's impurity such that black music's our glance in New York. The rap was brewed for us, the brides of France. These ideas dance. Lacan and Deleuze drunk, post-structural, post-punk. It's soul fucking poetry song. The globe is spun round. The solar one. The lonely monk. The solar one. The solar one. The lonely monk. The solar one, the lonely monk, the lonely monk. Yo, put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. As if you didn't care. As if you didn't care. Yo, put your hands in the air. As if you didn't care. Yo, put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. As if you didn't. Put your hands in the air. Strolling on the ghostly lawn. Moonlit postmodern truths in it. The dew and the mist. The dew and the mist. Musically a glitter. The blue above us written as the truth within words. Invisibler than wind. Written in the wind's work, the linear curved. This perfect trip on the wings of a verb, uncertainly wit. A singing wind or woodwind, indiscernibly good, I think. Yeah. Yo. A cruder MC than future and Migas, those nouveau riche beach, assuming the ethos of human sheep, cruising the beaches loose in a blue speedo. This beautifully huge and regal true physique of the ruling peoples, doing in Greek what you'd do in 3D, the movie, produced not by the people, not you nor me, but some fools with a peep show, acutely seizing these meanings through the keyhole. The rumor of a sequel, too deep to know his afterlife in the tree house, bleeding out black light from his penis and mouth, silently ultraviolet, these clouded in irony, fulcra crying glee over vulva, the vibrating tongue of time tasting, contrived as death of a salesman of sun-dried tomatoes and unrefined grain bread. As most men in the off hours, sexting his sonnet flowery, softer than swan's down, bothered as the moth-eaten gown and pollen-sweet clouds over all we've allowed. Oddly out of hand, these thoughts Andrew speaks, crotchety in malady, fondlingly grabbing his meanings on the mic. Long-lasting glee, the long-rapping MC for tomcats and queens, talking that dream stuff. Frothy as the cream of love, as moss against the tree trunk, bodily as Mussolini hung for all to see. We won. Yo, the words rise in his mind, covert as spies into the night. A slow-working diatribe, an overdose survival guide, broken into lines for my stoners who drive while blithe on poetry's wild side. The coke most certainly rhymes spiked. We're dying tonight. Yeah, dying. The cold earth in violent light. The warmth earthy lies on the mic as death buried by life. We don't wanna hear the final iceberg, the diamond-hard ice of his words. As white vanity, the Titanic at sea, the land behind and naught but black beneath. As white vanity, the Titanic at sea, the land behind and naught but black beneath. What of Newton's apple if Drake were beneath it? If the truth had to stay secret? They're bringing back slavery, yet the fruit had its tanginess. And they'll never be the same as us, never have that sacred something stranger than dust. In the strength of our struggling, awake through the drugs and the fake news of the king. The fake news of the king. As white vanity, the Titanic at sea, the land behind and naught but black beneath. As white vanity. anthropotextual, black as the letter O, but with an emptier hole. That's essential, the man unsettled, thinking the fullest black libido. It's human to bend one's form, get stupid and dance away tomorrow. Just move as the shaken pepper poured o'er food for the flavor and the odor. Just move as the epileptic, or if you can't move, just text your nurse and they'll move you next door. Anthropogroovily led from war as the student of Hellenic lore, the mass movement as never before. These happy lunatics at your door, your black mood, a dead metaphor. The last human texts were fetish porn, gratitude. The red dress toward his splashy shoes and the wet sex foam. Anthropolooza, the sex festival. Spoken music inexpressible. Foam on sewage, X-texto. So fluid, the gender reservoir. Post-human and metatextual. Anthropotextual, black as the letter O, but with an emptier hole. That's essential, the man unsettled, thinking the fullest black globe. A black comedy, the president. Anthropology, the discipline. You can't acknowledge he's an idiot and stand sans fear in his cabinet. This animosity magnet, the vast democracy catatonic, static and shock. We can't laugh at it. The facts result as leaves of grass withering. Ask Whitman if he was capitalistic. Nazis, pigs, and the greedy class winning. Alas, which team's the less cannibalistic? Sandwiched between bad positions. Mad Villain and Jay-Z, the chasm between a vast difference. Perhaps infinite. Cocaine. Oh my soul, so like Yoko, I'm so low now. Behold my proto-punk, my soul unfolding like her floral love. Behold the light in the photo, was it a ghost showing up like Ringo in the pub? So proud of Lennon, the grown-up activist, hymning every Julia. Alas, and intermittently using drugs in Japanese, giving up the group for love. My passion here for you was such. Meditative. Wiggling and shimmying sheetless. Meditatively. Licking your lived experience. Meditatively. Kissing your dripping tears and head. Meditative. Inhering in electrons, photons, bosons, and in those swans, so on as the glowing dawn, and so on and so on. The rhyme so predictable. My Negroes, watch as I float upon the river this boat of knowledge, so broken all into those particles. I'd rapped a few bars ago, bars so like Andrew Mbaruk's soul, sparkly golden, and technically a part of the ocean, but we're not going into that whole thing. Won't swim in that cold id. Oh my soul, holding my bones in motion now, controlling my mojo. A poet, how noble thine oratorio. Just don't count the bovine among your own. For those cows don't mind the hormones. As snow clouds most die in the warmth as snow. Snowing now, slow sighs of boredom over the gross out violence and horror. Oh no, it's more than we want to know. Let's go out and dine, ignoring the cold, the shivering grasses, meditatively hymning that ass, meditatively capitulating to capitalism, an infinite wrapper containing the dream planetoids, asteroids, the vast and pointless, sadly void as black joy canceling noise. These rhymes so predictable, Heimliching his soul and spitting out 1 trillion tiny crystals. This smiling misanthrope, was this divine gift bestowed in violence or tied with a bow?